Marco Muto pleads guilty to impaired driving causing death in the crash that killed 3 young children and their grandfather.
Make a lane, guys. You gotta make a lane.
Can't block our way, guys. You can't push left.
Court is in session again today at Old City Hall for day 3 of the Jian Ghomeshi trial. A teenage boy is dead after a stabbing near the West Mall in Etobicoke. Hi and welcome to Humber News. I'm Ryan Durkee coming to you from our newsroom here at Humber College North Campus. The second witness is testifying today in the trial of former CBC personality Jian Ghomeshi. Our reporter Nick Westall is at Old City Hall and has the latest.
I'm standing outside Old City Hall Court in downtown Toronto where day 3 of the Jian Ghomeshi trial is continuing here. The day began with an access request from the media lawyer representing numerous outlets. They were trying to get access to an exhibit that was put forth by Jian Ghomeshi's lawyer Marie Hennen on Tuesday. It contained the photo of a complainant. The complainant cannot be identified because of a publication ban. The judge ultimately ruled that the photo would not be released in order to protect witness information. The court recessed and came back to the second complainant in this case, Lucy de Couture. She is one of the victims that came out. She asked that her name be allowed to be used, so she is not covered under publication ban. Her testimony today revolved around when she first met Jian Ghomeshi. It began in 2003 at the Banff Film Conference. She said they exchanged detailed information and stayed in touch through email. She said they emailed on a daily basis, and she admits that some of the content in those emails might be considered bawdy, and then in the context of this court case, she said probably isn't so funny. She did agree to meet with Mr. Ghomeshi. They met at a Danforth restaurant. They walked back to his house, and she said that Mr. Ghomeshi kissed her in front of a closet, which she consented to. She said then he, with an open hand, pushed her up against a wall and proceeded to choke her, which she said she did not consent to. Then Mr. Ghomeshi, allegedly, according to Ms. de Couture, slapped her twice on the face, paused, looked at her, and hit her again. So that's the testimony at this point. The Crown is continuing their examination of Ms. de Couture. We will have updates for you as this case progresses.
That was Nick Westall reporting from Old City Hall this afternoon. Marco Muto has been granted bail at $1 million. He pleaded guilty this morning to 4 counts of impaired driving causing death and 2 counts of impaired driving causing bodily harm. The 29-year-old appeared in a Newmarket court facing a total of 18 charges. The court has imposed strict conditions on his release. His lawyer says he'll basically be under house arrest. Muto's SUV collided with a minivan in Vaughan last September, killing 3 young children and their grandfather. The crash also injured the children's grandmother and great-grandmother. Muto's sentencing will take place on February 23rd. It's day 4 of the Bosma Trial in Hamilton, where 2 key witnesses are testifying. Dallin Millard and Mark Smitch have both pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. The first witness, Omar Palmilli of Toronto, says he was selling a black truck similar to Bosma's. He testified a man called him inquiring about his truck, but they never met. Another witness, Arthur Jennings, testified he and his son-in-law worked for Millard fixing cars in 2013. On May 7th, Jennings says Millard told them not to come into work, and the following day he testified he saw a truck that looked like Bosma's in the shop. Police are investigating a stabbing in Etobicoke that left a 17-year-old boy dead. Saeed Khaley was fatally stabbed outside an apartment building near the West Mall and Rathburn Road last night. This morning, a number of police vehicles were at the scene. Police say Khaley and an unidentified man were chased by 2 suspects when the teen was caught and stabbed. Paramedics pronounced him dead at the scene. Police say the other man got away but was later found and questioned. Police are asking witnesses to come forward. Overseas now, the battle against the Zika virus is escalating as research work together to find a vaccine. The Brazilian president says that Brazil will work with the U.S. to develop a vaccine as quickly as possible. Researchers in Panama say genetically modified mosquitoes may be key to preventing further outbreak of the virus. At Sao Paulo University, experts say a vaccine will be crucial in aiding infected children.
If we have a vaccine, we will stop this outbreak very rapidly.
Scientists in India are also working on 2 possible vaccines to combat the virus. The World Health Organization say it's concerned about sexual transmission of Zika, but that these cases are still rare.
The ways of transmission have to be strongly looked into. Any possible sources of infection for the Zika virus have to be studied carefully. Right now, the vast majority of cases are done by mosquito bites, of course.
The WHO says the number of Zika cases could reach 4 million within next year. Sweden's foreign ministry says WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was unlawfully detained for 3.5 years in an Ecuadorian embassy in London.
If the UN report states that he has been detained for 3.5 years by Sweden, then I see no other way out of this for Sweden.
Embassy officials say a UN report concludes that arbitration, while Assange says he expects his passport to be returned. Assange's lawyer says Sweden must drop rape charges against his client. Assange maintains that he's innocent.
And that decision can be cancelled, withdrawn by Marianne Ny personally tomorrow. And then she can withdraw the European arrest warrant.
British police are waiting outside the embassy to arrest Assange. As the French military sends more fighter jets to an ISIS base in northwestern Syria, German police are taking care of homeland threats. The French military released video today of airstrikes targeting an ISIS base near Aleppo, Syria. Meanwhile, authorities in Berlin, Germany conducted a raid on an apartment complex. They were searching for men who may have connections with ISIS and a possible attack on German soil. 2 men and 1 woman were taken into custody. Nobel Prize winner and author Malala Yousafzai is appearing for donations in a quest to educate Syrian children.
At this summit, many people will talk about the 1.4 million children who are out of school in Syria, who have become refugees, and it is important that we hear from these children, from these young people.
The 17-year-old made the appeal for over 1 million Syrian children that are out of school and have ended up as refugees. To the U.S. primary race now. Even though the Iowa votes have been tallied, it hasn't stopped the Republicans from throwing punches.
Oh, that voter fraud. You know, these politicians are brutal. They're brutal. They are brutal. They are a bunch of dishonest cookies, I want to tell you. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this.
Donald Trump has accused fellow Republican Ted Cruz of voter fraud at an Arkansas rally yesterday. This comes after Trump went on a Twitter rant about how the Cruz campaign stole Iowa. Cruz dismissed the allegations, saying that Trump's insults are hysterical. He fired back, saying that Trump lacks the temperament to be president.
I don't know anyone who would be comfortable with someone who behaves this way having his finger on the button. I mean, we're liable to wake up one morning and Donald, if he were president, would have nuked Denmark.
New Hampshire is next up in the primary race. Back at home, although we're still in the winter months, Humber wants students to get a head start on summer job opportunities. Persis Abraham has the story.
Humber hosts its 2016 Summer Job Fair in the LRC and Main Concourse. Various vendors have set up stations for students to learn more on career opportunities. Jason Whitten from Coco Paving is recruiting students.
We're a civil engineering company, or a civil construction company, so we do roads, water mains, sewers, excavation, things like that. So we're looking for this year field technicians, estimating assistants, and things like that.
Organizations like Firemen Movers and Savage Arms look for students who want to work in a high-intensity environment.
So we're Savage Arms. We manufacture firearms, so sporting rifles, and in particular rimfire product. We are part of Vista Outdoor, which is an outdoor company, and we're just one of their Canada branches.
The job fair is beneficial for students like Jonas Medina, who are on a budget.
Because we're all students, right? We all need money. And we need money for tuition and everything. So and during the summer it'll keep us busy. So I think that's why it's important for we have events like this so we'll find opportunities and other stuff.
The Humber Job Fair opens up many doors for students who want to gain experience in their particular field. If you want more information, go to careers.humber.ca. Persis Abraham, Humber News.
When we come back, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of sports, and Katie Jones will have your 3-day forecast.
Well, we might not be enjoying the record-breaking weather we had yesterday. It was still great while it lasted. Today we'll have a high of 2 degrees, and I'll have the full weather update today at 2.
But first, some crazy video from Down Under today. Check out this wild wave warrior. This is Australian windsurfer Jason Policao catching giant waves in Portugal. He's the first windsurfer to take on Nazure's huge swell. The 2-time champion says he's been trying to conquer the wave for 2 years.
It's definitely like a dream come true coming here and riding like huge Nazare. It's definitely one of the highlights of my career for sure.
Waves at Nazare can reach up to 31 meters. Policao's next goal is to break the world record for wind sailing the largest wave. That's currently believed to be 18 meters. Amazing. We're going to take a short break, but check this out. It's the Chinese New Year, the year of the monkey, and London is marking it with a stunning display. The Lunar New Year celebrations kicked off with a bang in Britain's historic Chiswick House Gardens. The brilliant festival features a fantastic array of illuminated creatures and sculptures. Visitors were in awe of the demonstration and took the opportunity to snap some photos. The festival runs until March 6th.